Hi, listeners. Welcome back to Why Walking Matters, the Science Explained. If you've ever hit that mid afternoon wall, you know the one: heavy eyes, foggy brain, sudden cravings, and a serious dip in motivation. Today's episode is for you. Because that afternoon slump isn't a personal failure. It isn't laziness, it's biology, it's physiology. And science shows that walking and nutrition working together are one of the simplest ways to restore energy without caffeine overload or willpower battles. I'm Tatiana, your host. Let's start with what's actually happening in your body. Why the afternoon slump happens. The afternoon slump usually shows up between about 1 and 4 p.m., and it's driven by a few key factors. Your natural circadian rhythm dips, your blood sugar rises and crashes after lunch, prolonged sitting, and mental fatigue from sustained focus. If lunch was heavy in refined carbs or low in protein, your blood sugar may spike and then fall, leaving you tired and hungry again. Research shows that blood sugar fluctuations and extended sitting both contribute to fatigue and reduced cognitive performance in the afternoon. According to hsph.harvard.edu, make sitting less and moving more a daily habit for good health by Amy Roeder, published January 8th, 2025. Prolonged sitting has been linked to increased risk of type 2 diabetes, heart disease, stroke, and premature death. I-Min Lee, professor in the Department of Epidemiology at Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, recently shared her thoughts about the dangers of sedentary behavior and how much exercise is needed to offset its harms. Lee, who is also a professor of medicine at Harvard Medical School and Brigham and Women's Hospital, has been studying the links between physical activity and health outcomes since she was a graduate student at Harvard Chan School, where she earned an SCD in 1991. She's published highly cited studies quantifying the effects of physical inactivity on chronic disease risk and has explored ways to make physical activity more accessible. Question: how much sitting is too much? Answer: it is hard to pin down a single number of hours since there is a dose response relationship. More sitting is worse than less. The detrimental effects of sedentary behavior, which we technically define as sitting as well as reclining while awake, appears to be more marked after around 9 hours a day. Question: what would you recommend for people whose jobs require them to sit all day? Answer: it is important to try to be physically active when you can. Try to take breaks from prolonged sitting. Nowadays, many wearables allow people to prompt a time to get up and move. There is no consensus on how long to sit before a break. We often say every 30 minutes, but that is based on convention rather than data. Try to find other automatic ways to incorporate movement into your life, such as parking farther away and taking the stairs instead of the elevator. Rather than being still, do some activity. Some is better than none, and more is better than some. If you're moving, you can't be sitting. So, why does walking boost energy? Why is walking an energy tool, not an energy drain? Movement creates energy. Walking increases blood flow to the brain, improves oxygen delivery, and helps regulate blood sugar, all of which improve alertness and mood. Studies show that even short bouts of walking improve attention, mood, and perceived energy, especially when mental fatigue is present. You're not using up energy, you're unlocking it. In an article entitled The Influence of Exercise on Cognitive Abilities, published in the National Library of Medicine, scientific evidence based on neuroimaging approaches over the last decade has demonstrated the efficacy of physical activity improving cognitive health across the human lifespan. Aerobic fitness spares age related loss of brain tissue during aging and enhances functional aspects of higher order regions involved in the control of cognition. More active or higher fit individuals are capable of allocating greater attentional resources toward the environment and are able to process information more quickly. These data are suggestive that aerobic fitness enhances cognitive strategies, enabling to respond effectively to an imposed challenge with a better yield in task performance. In turn, animal studies have shown that exercise has a benevolent action on health and plasticity of the nervous system. New evidence indicates that exercise exerts its effects on cognition by affecting molecular events related to the management of energy metabolism and synaptic plasticity. An important instigator in the molecular machinery stimulated by exercise is brain derived neurotrophic factor, which acts as the interface of metabolism and plasticity. Recent studies show that exercise collaborates with other aspects of lifestyle to influence the molecular substrates of cognition. In particular, select dietary factors share similar mechanisms with exercise, and in some cases, they can complement the action of exercise. Therefore, exercise and dietary management appear as a non invasive and effective strategy to counteract neurological and cognitive disorders. So, what is the best time to walk for afternoon energy? Right when you feel the slump starting. The best time to walk for energy is when the slump starts, not when you're already exhausted. That might be right after lunch, mid afternoon between meetings, when your focus starts slipping. You don't need to wait for exhaustion. A short walk acts like a reset button for your nervous system and metabolism. How long should you walk and how fast should you walk? For energy, walking doesn't need to be intense. Less is more. Aim for 5 to 15 minutes at an easy to moderately brisk pace, comfortable. You should feel refreshed, not drained or depleted. Think energizing, not exhausting. Research shows even brief activity breaks improve alertness and reduce fatigue during the workday. If you're breathing a little deeper and feel more awake afterward, you nailed it. Now, let's talk food because walking works best when nutrition supports it. What you eat at lunch strongly affects how you feel at 3 p.m. Meals high in refined carbs and low in protein tend to spike blood sugar, then drop it, leading to fatigue and cravings. Balanced meals that include protein, fiber, and healthy fats help stabilize energy levels throughout the afternoon. Common slump causing lunches include large portions of refined carbs, low protein, little fiber, and sugary drinks. These meals digest quickly, spike blood sugar, and then leave you crashing. To support afternoon energy, meals should include protein to stabilize the blood sugar, fiber rich carbs for steady energy, healthy fats for satiety, hydration because dehydration causes fatigue fast. From nutritionsource.hsph.harvard.edu, carbohydrates, quality matters. What's most important is the type of carbohydrate you choose to eat because some sources are healthier than others. The amount of carbohydrate in the diet, high or low, is less important than the type of carbohydrate in the diet. For example, healthy whole grains such as a whole wheat bread, rye, barley, and quinoa are better choices than highly refined white bread or french fries. Many people are confused about carbohydrates, but keep in mind that it's more important to eat carbohydrates from healthy foods than to follow a strict diet limiting or counting the number of grams of carbohydrates consumed. Foods high in carbohydrates are an important part of a healthy diet. Carbohydrates provide the body with glucose, which is converted to energy used to support bodily functions and physical activity. But carbohydrate quality is important. Some types of carbohydrate rich foods are better than others. The healthiest sources of carbohydrates, unprocessed or minimally processed whole grains, vegetables, fruits, and beans, promote good health by delivering vitamins, minerals, fiber, and a host of important phytonutrients. Unhealthier sources of carbohydrates include white bread, pastries, sodas, and other highly processed or refined foods. These items contain easily digested carbohydrates that may contribute to weight gain, interfere with weight loss, and promote diabetes and heart disease. Try these tips for adding healthy carbohydrates to your diet. 1. Start the day with whole grains. Try a hot cereal like steel cut or old fashioned oats, not instant oatmeal, or a cold cereal that lists a whole grain first on the ingredient list and is low in sugar. A good rule of thumb: choose a cereal that has at least 4 grams of fiber and less than 8 grams of sugar per serving. 2. Use whole grain breads for lunch or snacks. Confused about how to find a whole grain bread? Look for bread that lists as the first ingredient whole wheat, whole rye, or some other whole grain. And even better, one that is made with only whole grains, such as 100% whole wheat bread. 3. Also look beyond the bread aisle. Whole wheat bread is often made with finely ground flour. and bread products are often high in sodium. Instead of bread, try a whole grain in salad form, such as brown rice or quinoa. 4. Choose whole fruit instead of juice. An orange has 2 times as much fiber and half as much sugar as a 12-ounce glass of orange juice. 5. Pass on potatoes and instead bring on the beans. Rather than fill up on potatoes, which have been found to promote weight gain, choose beans for an excellent source of slowly digested carbohydrates. Beans and other legumes, such as chickpeas, also provide a healthy dose of protein. If you need a snack before or after a walk, keep it simple and balanced, not sugary. Good options include Greek yogurt with berries, a handful of nuts and fruit, an apple with nut butter, cottage cheese, or hard boiled eggs. The goal isn't sugar for a quick hit, it's steady fuel. Protein and fiber help prevent energy crashes and support sustained focus. So, what about walking versus caffeine? Many of us reach for caffeine in the afternoon, but it can backfire. Caffeine can help, but late day caffeine can interfere with sleep and create a cycle of fatigue. Late caffeine can disrupt sleep, increase anxiety, and mask fatigue instead of fixing it. Walking improves energy without disrupting sleep, and studies show physical activity improves sleep quality long term. A short walk often improves energy just as effectively without the crash or sleep disruption. If you do use caffeine, pairing it with movement works better than caffeine alone. From sleepfoundation.org, exercise and sleep. How does exercise impact sleep? Studies have found that proper exercise can alleviate sleep related problems and help you get an adequate amount of rest. Recent research also suggests insufficient or poor quality sleep can lead to lower levels of physical activity the following day. For these reasons, experts today believe sleep and exercise have a bi-directional relationship. Optimizing your exercise routine can potentially help you sleep better, and getting adequate amount of sleep may promote healthier physical activity levels during the day. Here's how to make walking for energy stick. Schedule it. Put it on your calendar. Tie it to lunch or a meeting break. Keep your shoes visible, accessible. Walk outside if possible. Sunlight boosts alertness. Keep it short and doable. Don't overthink it. You're not training, you're restoring. And what should you expect when it works? The signs that it's working include clearer thinking, better mood, fewer afternoon cravings, less dependence on caffeine, and more consistent energy throughout the day. And over time, better metabolic health, better sleep, and a walking habit that actually fits real life. Before we wrap up, let's play a quick game called Slump or Support. I'll say something and you decide whether it feeds the afternoon slump or supports your energy. Ready? 1. Big pasta lunch, no protein. Yes, slump. 2. 10-minute walk after lunch. You got it, support. 3. Sugary snack and sitting still. Slump. 4. Balanced lunch plus a short walk. Yes, support. 5. Third coffee at 4 p.m. equals slump tomorrow morning. And finally, a walking break and water. Yes, support. If you got most of those right, congrats. You now understand your afternoon energy better than most people. The afternoon slump isn't something to push through, it's a signal. Your body is asking for movement, better fuel, and a break from sitting still. A short walk paired with smart nutrition is one of the most effective, simplest, science backed ways to answer that signal. This week, try it. When the slump hits, walk first, then see how your body responds. This week, I invite you to try something simple but powerful: the 7-day energy walk challenge. No pressure, no perfection, just short walks, smart fuel, and curiosity about how your body responds. You can find the 7-day energy walk challenge on whywalkingmatters.com. If you try the challenge, I'd love for you to share your experience, because energy isn't something you force, it's something you build step by step. Click on Share Your Walking Story at whywalkingmatters.com. I look forward to hearing from you. You can also share your topic ideas, and as always, links to articles used in this podcast are in the show notes or podcast description. Until next time, listeners, keep moving and remember, every step matters. Thanks for listening to Why Walking Matters, the Science Explained.